Hello and welcome back. If you're new, hello, welcome. You may have guessed from the title, but today we are talking about finance. So exciting. I can tell you are just buzzing with excitement. Maybe not. It's not always the most exciting topic to talk about, but it's definitely one that needs talking about. So I talked back in May about getting back on the budgeting bandwagon and all was going well and everything was coming back into place. I then promptly fell off it again. I ended up going to a conference in Belfast and booked tickets last minute on my credit card. I had my wedding anniversary with my husband. I had various other events come up and I used my credit card when I shouldn't have. But that's life, we all make mistakes. I think because I was patting myself on the back for doing so well that I just stopped doing so well. I was like, it's fine, you know, it's gonna be okay. Yeah, it's really not. So let's talk brass tacks. I have actually basically put on, well, I ended up putting on about £600 onto my debt, which I have very quickly taken off a large chunk of that again because I sort of caught on to myself pretty quickly again. It's like, Anya, what the hell are you doing? So I got a grip of myself and I've started to rein it all back in again and apply some common sense. Who knew that would be possible? I am basically just up to 4,300 and change. I was down to about 3,700 and something. So that's a wee bit frustrating. Basically, I've still got £400 extra that I've added onto my debt. I cannot express to you how frustrated I am with myself, but beating myself up about it isn't going to fix the problem. I need to remedy the problem, and especially now that I've gone part-time, it has all become very real very quickly, and I just need to sort myself out and just reevaluate where I'm spending my money. I have talked before about doing a budget, and I was doing it, and then when I fell off the wagon, I avoided it. I didn't look at where my money was going. I said, it's fine, it's fine. Buried my head in the sand completely. So that was very silly of me for starters. So I have sat down and I went through my budget with my new income, and I have trimmed all of the financial fat, frankly. So I have cancelled a number of subscriptions. So I've stopped my Audible subscription, I've cancelled my gym subscription. I have got rid of areas that I don't need to be spending money on, that I need to be sensible about. I have trimmed areas that I may need to spend a wee bit of money, but I do not need to be spending all that money, and I need to not be so lazy, like getting the bus everywhere. I live in Brighton, everywhere's within walking distance, for goodness sake. And as now that I've quit the gym, I should be getting all of the buses. That would be my exercise. And as we are starting to leave, or starting to prep to leave, because we're going to be going hopefully in 6 months, I have started to declutter the flat and started to slowly but surely, just gradually start to sell things. So for example, I sold penny boards, and we have sold our micro scale electric set, which is still sitting here, but it is going to be going in the next 2 weeks. It'll be gone in 2 weeks. But that has been sold. I also have popped onto Depop, and I've started to put up some of my favourite clothes that I know I'm not going to get much more wear out of. So I thought, well, while it's still summer and the weather's still nice, and going into autumn, these transfer well, so I thought I'd pop them up on Depop. And I've also started to declutter my makeup collection, because I have so much makeup. This chest of drawers is full of makeup and I don't use it all. So the stuff that I can sanitize, like the eyeshadow, etc., I'm just going through and picking some of them out. Ones that I don't use very often, you know, it's gonna be hard. I'm just sitting thinking about it going, oh my god, but they need to go. Basically, there's no point in me keeping them. So gradually starting to sell stuff, and it's just really nice, you know, just actually getting rid of things that we don't use. I definitely enjoy them, like my boron, I've sold that and I loved it, but it needs to go. So it's gone, and we have a little money box that sits in front of our TV, and it's of a VW camper van, and the cash money is going in there, and then I will take that and transfer it into my bank or my husband's bank account, and we will pay off a bit more debt with that. So that's how we're going to do it. The other fun thing that we had to do was basically, like I said, we reassessed our budget, and then we did some meal planning. So this is the first time we've done proper meal planning before we went food shopping. So we planned out our lunches, our breakfast, lunch and dinner for a week. Breakfast, I have the same breakfast pretty much every breakfast. I'll have a lovely egg on toast. It's my favourite. So, and then my husband doesn't really do breakfast when he's going to work because he just can't handle it. However, he has been known to go and buy himself lunch and go out and do stuff, as have I. So we both are a bit of a killer on that front. So we're making lunches again, and so we included that in our food shop meal planning thing. And we also planned out our dinners for the next week. Now this is our first time doing this properly. Like, we literally went through and seen what food we had, meat wise, veg wise, all that kind of jazz, and planned out our food for the next week. And we did have quite a bit in stock, so we only had to do a bit of a top up really, and we were able to do a week's food shopping, given there was no meat or anything in this, for 30 quid. That was all the stuff that we needed, and that was a bit of an eye-opener for me. We went to Asda and we got our stuff there. Now I've had some interesting experiences buying meat from Asda, so I may not necessarily buy our meat from there, but because we were able to go and inspect the veg and the fruit and stuff, I was happier buying it in person. Now I've had Asda deliveries before and I don't trust them, but going in person and selecting your food, it's grand. That probably makes me sound a bit snobby, but I just didn't trust it. It's the same with Tesco's. We generally did our food shop from there, but I was always a wee bit dubious about getting fruit and stuff. I'd rather go in person and buy my own fruit. Veg, we've been hit and miss. So with anything fresh, I generally like to get that in person. But yeah, we managed to do our food shop for a week in Asda for £30. And then we put our meal plan up on the blackboard we have in the kitchen, so we can just come in, see what we're having for dinner. Either I take out the stuff from the freezer that we need, or my husband does, so we are gonna really save. Now, a friend I was talking to about this, she really recommended going on to mysupermarket.com, and you can put in what your weekly food shop is into the basket. It will tell you where it's cheapest to get that basket from, and then you can send that to whichever shop you would pick up from or have it delivered from. So that is what I'm going to try out next. I think that's going to be a really good way of doing it. It seems like a really sensible option actually, so we can gauge where our food shop is going to be the cheapest. The other thing I was a bit crap on was using cash only. So for the food shop, I've taken out how much I'm going to spend on food for the month, and that is it. So if that means we end up eating noodles by the end of the month, so be it. It'll have to be rice noodles because the whole gluten thing, but you know, that's just the way it's going to be. We just have to be sensible. I want to get travelling in 6 months, so this is the way we're going to achieve that and still be able to save and still be able to pay off a good chunk of our debts. It is also sensible, if you're in a couple, partnership, whatever you want to call it, to talk about where you both are financially, and to talk about what bills are coming out and who's paying for what and all that kind of jazz. Because I'm now going part-time, my salary has massively reduced. I say part-time, I'm still side hustling and I'm gradually going to start making more money from that, but that isn't going to be a constant at the minute. Like, I have some money that's going to come in this month from stuff I did last month, but it's not going to be a constant. So we need to just make sure we can spend, you know, we can live within our means and what we're getting. So my poor husband maybe got a bit of an eye-opener this month, because I was on a better wage, so I didn't really think about it, but I would be paying about £200 over, or £200 a month on bills, just myself. So that would be like the council tax, the water, our Virgin bills or our cable, all that kind of jazz. And I never really thought about it, but now that we're practically on a very similar wage, we really have to think about it, because I have more debt. I have double the amount of debt that my husband does. I know you're supposed to put everything together, but at the minute it's just easier keeping it separate for now. But I have pretty much double the amount of debt, and he is paying off twice the amount of debt. So he is paying off his debt quicker, but I've got double and I'm paying off half while still paying another £200 on bills. So thankfully he will be rid of one of his debts completely. It's now happened this month in the latest paycheck. So next month we are basically going to reassess all the bills, and he didn't realise, basically, because I never thought about it, didn't talk about it, and now I've talked about it. He's just like, wow, okay, we need to sort this out. So he is going to step up and he's going to take a chunk, so I can, or he's just going to pay his half basically, so I can focus on getting my debts down quicker. So I need to be paying off more of my debt, just, you know, quicker. And I have tried doing the debt snowball, paying off the smallest first, but I didn't really do it properly, to be honest. So I'm reattempting to do that at the minute. and we'll see how we get on with that. So if you're in a couple and a partnership, talk about your finances together. It's an awkward conversation and it is a bit, you know, but it's worth having. You're in it together, and if you're with this person for a while, you should be able to have these conversations. If you're like me, I still feel awkward, and it's just like admitting that you have this huge amount of debt, or worried about how much debt the other person is going to have and that you're taking on. But if you're both committed, you both have to be on the same page. You both have to be in this together. So you need to talk about it, and you need to sort it out between you and come up with a plan together. And especially if, like us, you want to go traveling, you need to be aware of that, and you both have to decide, we are going to do this and this is how we're going to get there. So we also had to have a chat about, like, I can work online, so I can work wherever we are in the world. And it's just been trying to figure out what Simon could do, because Simon could easily get a job in any bar or construction or anything in a country that we go to, but that's not necessarily a reliable source. Or if we go somewhere that's not happening, what's he going to do? So he has now been investigating graphic design. Simon is incredible at that sort of stuff. He's very, very good, but he's always been like, oh, you know, I can't do that. I'm like, you totally can. Maybe you've just not done it before, or maybe you just don't have the confidence in yourself to do this, because he maybe had interesting experiences with some art teachers in the past, or this kind of jazz basically, and that would have knocked his confidence a lot. So I'm helping him to establish confidence in that, and that he can do it. So hopefully that will be an income for him when we're traveling. But that means he has to start working on it now. So we're both working on our side hustles at the minute. So those are the sort of, maybe not actionable points, but things that we are doing to right the situation. Trim all the fat, get rid of any financial fat that you, yeah, it's great to have a gym membership, and I do go to it, but it's not necessary. I can work out from home, and I'm going to put together a home workout style thing, or, you know, a routine that I'm going to be doing. You have to really, well, I suppose first of all, you have to really assess your finances. You have to sit and face the music, and you have to decide what is going on. Once you have done that, you can trim the fat. You can get rid of any excess and sort your stuff out. So that's number 2, trim the fat. 1, assess the finances. 2, trim the fat. You then have to start getting rid of the stuff that you don't need. So sell everything. If you don't need it, get rid of it. You can sell it. It might be hard to sell certain things, but there's other things you can definitely sell much easier than others. So that's number 3, sell all the things. As Dave Ramsey said, sell so much you think the kids are going next. We don't have any kids. Maybe we think we're next, I don't know, but we're selling all the things. Start working in cash, something we were bad at, work in cash. So we've done it for food, and to be honest, those are the only things I'm concerned about. I'm not going to be buying anything else at the minute for now. So if I have something coming up, I will get cash out, and that will be allotted into an envelope, and that will be spent accordingly. This may change as we progress. It may be that we work in cash a lot more. And lastly, just make sure, so meal plan out your food, decide where you're spending that money, and really have a good think about it, and start using your food wisely. You don't need to waste things. And if you're in a couple, talk about your finances openly and honestly, and have that discussion, and together you can sort it out. It is not the end of the world. Just be aware it is gonna be hard work, and it is gonna be tough, but it's definitely doable. So that is it. If you have any questions, please let me know. Hopefully this wasn't too long. Thanks a million for watching. If you're in a similar situation, let me know. We can do this together. But yeah, that is it. Thanks a million for watching, guys. Bye! Hello, and welcome back. If you're new, hello, welcome. Feel free to subscribe. Today we are talking all about the brows. Now, I'm not the queen of brows. I quite like my brows now.